Hello, my name's Malachi, and I'm from Chicago, Illinois, and you're going to watch me make eggplant parmesan the vegetarian way. We're going to have eggplant, organic tofu, 1 onion, 1 pepper, some cornmeal, doctor it up with any seasonings you want in there, oil so our cornmeal can stick, and a hot pan with oil so we can have our eggplant get breaded and get warm and things like that. So first what I'm going to do is I took an eggplant and chopped little circles. Now you don't want these too thin because it's going to be soft, and if it's too soft after coming out the pan, it's going to be real slimy once we bake it with the tofu. So first, you take your eggplant, have a little salt in the oil just so it can catch some flavor. And I'm just going to bread it and put it into a medium heat pan. Not too hot, because if it's too hot then it's going to be too soft. And then in the oven, of course, we'll have a slime mess. So I kind of did that because I poured a little too much oil. When you have excess oil, just get a little of the oil off of the pan so we won't have soggy, oily, greasy food. Put any seasoning you want in your flour. You can have cayenne, you can have basil, whatever flavor you're looking for. If you're looking for more of an Italian, you use your basil, your garlic. If you're going Indian with it, you can use curry and things like that, but I'm just going mainly Italian today. The next thing, here's a tip. When you're cooking something like this and you have 2 components, you want to put your oven on a very low setting, and so while this stuff is cooking, have it warming in the oven, lightly though, so it won't cook it, but so it'll keep it warm. Take a bowl and cut my tofu. Depending on how many people you're cooking for, you can use 1 to 2. I'm going to just use 1. Water, organic tofu, and smash it. And just get your hands in there. It kind of feels like you're putting your hands in a cold slushy. But, yeah, it tastes good in the end. So, once you get that, you just squeeze it enough so the clumps can get out. You can even go and find the clumps and just smush and mash away at it all. And now we're going to need to check up on our eggplant. Make sure it's not getting too soft. So here's a tip. If you're making eggplant parm, use something that's going to bind the cornmeal to the eggplant, or you'll have a mess. And you don't have to cook it till soft in the middle, just to where the perimeter is, and most of it is soft. But when we throw it in the oven, it's going to go through more cooking time. So, you know, you don't want to overcook. And we're going to go to some slicing and dicing. Cut a few peppers to add to our tofu. Give it some color. You don't want a dark, greasy meal. You know, nothing very uniform, just a rough chop. Not too big, just bite-sized pieces, rough chop. Throw it in there. Throw as much bell pepper as you want. If you love bell pepper, go ahead, put as much as you want. If you're not a big fan of it, then use a little less. If you don't want to use bell pepper at all, then just don't use it. See, now you don't want your cornmeal to be pale. You want it to get brown, because when it gets brown, it shows the golden cooked point. We also eat with our eyes, so if it's golden, we know it's done. Make sure your tofu is seasoned. People hate tofu because it's not seasoned, and I hate tofu when it's not seasoned. So whatever sauce you want in there, whatever flavors you want in there, season your tofu. I'm going to show you what we're going to put in the tofu to bring up the flavors. Of course, you want to take your eggplant and put it in the oven, because it's going to be a couple minutes till we start assembling the whole thing. So now we're slicing and dicing an onion. And make sure you get it in the shape you want. I'm aiming for dices, actually. Just take our dices, throw them in there. You do the dices I do them for color, for flavor. Onion and pepper is really good. It's going to contrast well with the other flavors that we're going to put in there. Add as much onion as you want. Onion and pepper. Add green, red, whatever. Green would look nice in the red and the purple. But green is hard to come by because the Philly steak companies took them for their Phillies. No, I'm just kidding. So, just want to put the last of your eggplant to warm. Gotta multitask. Ninja. So, oil pretty much gone. I'm just gonna let the excess, man, this is not Access Hollywood. Let the excess drip and get into the bowl so we won't be wasting. And for this caramel, if it's not all wet and it's seasoned, cut up a few slices of tofu and make something with it, or use it as a breading. Do whatever you want with it. Just don't waste it. So now you want to set your oven about 400, because we're cooking the tofu, but we're not cooking the eggplant. We're just warming it. Yeah. So we're gonna add some sea salt. Let's move on to the basil. Just enough, not too much. Mix that together. Now time to make our little tower of highways that we call, well, not quite, but that we'll call eggplant parmesan. No, let's do it right here. 1, some tofu, put on there. Not too much, because if you put too much, then it's gonna spill over and look ugly. And food is all about the presentation. So get a uniform piece of eggplant to put on top, and then you can put more on top. Now, if you want marinara sauce, you can make a marinara sauce or use your own, like we're about to do. Use a store-bought marinara sauce to cut time. Just get something that's good for you.